Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another live edition of Wander to the Edge. My name is Adam Asher from The Edge of Adventure.
I'm Zan from Where Gals Wander, and I only own 3 shirts.
Yeah, is that you're talking about, or is that
Oh,
somebody
no,
else?
I'm sorry, Adam. That's you. I get confused
Hey, I'm
sometimes.
working on it.
Yeah.
I may be up to 5. I may be up to 5.
I like the blue you got going on today,
Yeah,
though.
with the blue on blue
Yeah.
background, right?
We're gonna call that Wander Blue. We
It
just
is.
made
It's
up our
kind of
own
it's now
color.
it's our color now. It's the
Yeah,
Wander Blue.
Wander Blue.
On Wander to the Edge. But yeah, we're live today. We're here on Facebook. We are on YouTube and also on Twitter via Periscope. So, however you're joining us today, thanks for being here. And please be prepared to ask some questions today. In this live edition, we've got a fantastic guest, wonderful lady, great friend, basically a legend on Twitter. I mean,
Pretty much. Yeah.
and I think one of the reasons why is she is so supportive and so genuine and just cares so much about people that people like her, and you're going to like her as well as we get to know her.
So today's the day. Get it? Get it? We have Suzi Day here on Wander to the Edge.
Suzi, welcome to the program.
Hi, Suzi.
Thank you. Hi, guys. So good to see you finally. And what an intro. That was really awesome.
Hey, we're working on it. Nothing but the best.
Aw, thanks for having me, guys. It's so exciting. Great way to start my weekend.
Aw.
Well, it is great to see you and great to meet you in person. One of the great things about social media is, a person's network can and does grow. You meet so many wonderful people through social media. You feel like you know them. In reality, you do, right? In reality, you do.
So.
And then we get this opportunity to bring a person like you onto the show so that not only we, but all of our friends get to know you as well in a more personal way. So thanks for taking the time out of your Saturday. It is just after 2:00 here on the East Coast. I'm coming to you from Atlanta. And Suzi, you're where?
San Diego. So I'm still sipping coffee. So 11 o'clock here in San Diego. Beautiful day too, by the way. So Zan and I aren't so far away from each other.
Yeah, I was going to say it's always a beautiful day in Southern California.
So you're in San Diego, but home for you is actually, or where you grew up, is a little farther north, right? It's up in Oregon.
Oregon, yes. Born and raised in Oregon. And my aunt lives in San Diego. And so growing up, vacationed here from the time I was a very young girl and always said that I wanted to go to San Diego State. I even have it in, I think, my 5th grade yearbook that I was going to go to San Diego State, and I did. So left Oregon when I graduated high school, moved here to go to college, and I've never left. So raised all our kids here, and San Diego's definitely home, but I'm honored and proud to be from Oregon, which is just such an incredibly beautiful place especially for travelers. So many amazing things to see there.
So this is what I don't understand, Suzi.
Okay.
I'm from the Midwest.
Yes, I know.
I'm from Chicago.
I know what you're going to say.
I know. So all of your photos, you mostly travel in the fall and winter to really cold places.
Yes, even better.
And I moved from Chicago to LA to get away from all that. So share with us your love of snow and cold and winter. Like, what does this mean for you?
I know people think I'm strange. I think maybe you can take the girl out of Oregon, but you can't take the Oregon out of the girl. Not like we would have extreme weather like you had in the Midwest, of course. But I don't know. I guess maybe after all these years, I love to travel to places that have a different climate than what, as you said, we're blessed to have beautiful weather here basically all year round. So rather than go to a beach when we have beautiful beaches here, I'd rather experience snow and weather. And I think climate changes people when you have seasons. I think people, at least I find when I go back to Oregon, I remember, people in the summer are just like joyous and happy, and they're out till 11 p.m. with their children. And it's because the winter makes them appreciate, the summer. So I think I miss that. I definitely love seasons. So a couple other reasons: very inexpensive to travel in the winter, especially. We've just the last 4 years started traveling mainly in February. You can get a selfie and a great picture with nobody in the background. Museums are completely empty. You're not hot and sweaty. So there's all kinds of other reasons we love to travel in the winter. But I guess I love having a different type of climate than what we really experience here every day in San Diego.
And as we get to know you, Suzi, you are a mom of 5, and you've done a lot of traveling with the kids through the years.
Yes.
So tell us about the wonderful part and maybe the challenging part of such things.
Yes, there's definitely both parts. When my husband and I got married, we have blended our family. So I have a son, and he has 4 kids. And they, when we started traveling with them, our youngest was 4. So the first overseas trip that we took, our youngest was 4 and our oldest was 11. And I guess the biggest challenge when you have a family of 7 is obviously cost. So it's expensive to fly 7 people anywhere, but especially overseas. But the first couple of years, we really just, when he and I would travel, if we found somewhere we really loved, we would take our kids back. So we'd actually revisit that place. And all of our kids today, they're now 19 to 26. They're all avid travelers. They love to travel. But growing up, we pretty much planned a major trip every other year overseas so we could save up. We learned how to crunch 5 kids into a very small European hotel room. We aren't really tour people, so we did a lot of stuff on our own and created our own itineraries. And I think that helped save a lot of money. But we were horrible parents when they were little, and we would take them out of school to travel because we'd generally be gone for a week at most, or maybe 10 days. And we just felt traveling, especially when they were very young, was as good of an education as they were getting in school, and an easier time when they're that young to take them out of school. They would take their work with them. But for us, summer was really not an option because it's so much more expensive to travel to those places in the summer. So we generally traveled with them like in September. But once they got into high school, everything changed because, of course, they have sports commitments. School was much harder. So we then kind of changed and would travel with our kids at Christmas time, which again can be, depending on where you go, an affordable time to travel. But it has been ingrained in our family from day one. And I love to see them now as adults, that's a big part of their life.
So as a mom myself,
yes.
And I know that there's a lot of people out there that say, I want to travel. I have kids. It's too expensive. How do I manage the timing? So maybe share with us, what are some pieces of advice? I like the idea about going in winter because of the cost factor. What other tips would you have, or what would you say to those, parents who say, I just can't do this. I've got kids right now.
I guess first and foremost, don't be afraid. I mean, we went to Morocco. Everyone thought we were insane when our youngest was 5 or 6, and they thought we were crazy. So I guess the first thing is don't be afraid. I think everywhere now, and especially the world we live in, is so accommodating to families no matter where you go. So I think don't put in your mind that it's going to be difficult. It really doesn't have to be difficult. Even the long flights don't have to be difficult. We used to, back in the days, before kids had screens like they do now, I mean, we would just pack backpacks full of everything to keep them occupied, and books. And so I don't ever think we had any issues flying. And I think just keeping them busy. So when we would get to a location, we would say, we're not paying all this money for you to sit in the hotel room all day. So it was like, get up, get going. Jet lag was never an issue. And I think the other thing is finding hotels that included breakfast, especially for bigger families, was a great way that we saved money. And then we generally would have one bigger meal during the day and buy lots of stuff that we could have in the hotel room. So we saved a lot, I think, on meals that way. But we always involved the kids in the planning of our trip to really get them excited about the trip. So they were always just ready for the adventure, to be honest with you. And I really don't, we had 5. So other than we had one daughter that got lost by the Spanish Steps for about a heartbeat, and we thought we were going to die, in the crowd. But other than that, we honestly, touch wood, have never had a bad experience. And the kids have been to, with us, probably about 12 or 13 different countries.
Our guest today is Suzi Day, and you can look her up online. Again, she is a legend on Twitter. You'll find her there at Suzi Day 123. And anybody in the travel tribe knows who Suzi Day is. Suzi, why are you so good at Twitter? What is your secret?
I don't know. It's so funny. That very kind words, by the way. Thank you. But I just think, I don't know. I'm so blessed, as I'm sure you guys feel the same way. And a lot of you out there, if you're watching, your Twitter gets a bad rap so often. But I think when you kind of stick to the people, the tribe, or whatever your interests are on Twitter that are positive, there's really, I've never, in the 3 years I've been active on Twitter, I've never really had a negative experience. So I think you make it the way you surround yourself with the people that are like you. And like you guys mentioned, you feel like you know everyone. And that's why I prefer Twitter over any other platform, because it's so engaging. And when you meet some friends in real life, it's like you've known them forever, because it's like you don't have to break the ice. I love tweet ups because it's like, oh, I've known you for 2 years. You have this many kids and you've traveled everywhere. And meeting travelers, especially, you can talk for hours. It's like you need 5 days when you meet people. But I think I worked really hard in the beginning. It's different nowadays, obviously, on Twitter, to kind of grow your following. But I've really just been active for about 3 years, almost exactly 3 years now. And I just found people that I had the same interests as me. And I've just found everyone to be lovely. So I haven't encountered haters on any side. And I think the people that you surround yourself with are a reflection of how you are. And so I just feel blessed to meet people like yourselves and so many hundreds of people out there that are just fabulous on Twitter, inspire me every day.
I know a lot of people say the same about you, that they consider you a source of positivity and inspiration and support. And before we went live, we were talking a little bit about some of your tweet ups.
Yes.
And a tweet up is when you meet someone on Twitter in person. Mm-hmm. And you said you've met about 25 or so.
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to remember everybody with you, but I think it's one time a couple of months ago, I was trying to count how many. And sometimes it's one time, and it's fabulous. I've had incredible tweet ups. And as I mentioned to you, I've also formed some amazing friendships from Twitter. So I like to tell people when they say, you're on Twitter, I don't understand that. I like to say it's like a girls' night out, a chamber of commerce meeting, a book club, all, kind of thrown together. So if you go do those things in person in your normal life, I really think Twitter kind of has the ability to mimic those same kind of situations, to meet strangers. But I think it's better because you actually know so much about people before you meet them. But I've met so many great people in the wine space, obviously the travel space, and just good people, all around people. So everything for me, again, has just been a great when it comes to tweet ups.
Okay, we're live today. We call this show Wander to the Edge, and our special guest today is Suzi Day. And we, this is live, okay? We need and want you guys to participate, all right? So if you've got a question or a comment of some kind, something you'd like to toss out there to get us to talk about today, just drop it in the comments, or if you're on Twitter, you can just tweet back to Wander to the Edge, and it will come through right here on this fancy equipment that I've got here, so we can see it and hopefully share it as well. And of course, want to say hello to Seema. She is joining us from the UK. And all right, let's go ahead and put her comment here on the screen. She says, Twitter is the best platform, and I've also never had a bad experience. Tweet ups are fab too.
They are, yeah. They are. Lots of great friends in the UK. So I can't wait to meet more of them when we're able to travel again.
Okay, so you mentioned the UK. Were you on TV or something in the UK? Did you?
Oh, going back to my former life, yes. I was blessed to be a part of QVC UK for, gosh, almost around 17 years. So I had a line of fashion jewelry that I designed and presented on QVC in the UK. So London for many, 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 many years was like a second home for me. So lots of good friends there, and definitely left my heart in London. It's an amazing city, a great place, and amazing people there. So yeah, that was from the ripe old age of 29 was when I started that and my company. And once my boys got to be middle school age, I was traveling a lot in the beginning, every other month to London to do shows. So it changed over the years. But once my kids got to be a little older, I wanted to maybe do a little less traveling and be more the PTA and baseball team mom at that time. And so I miss my QVC family so much. There are a few of my customers that are on Twitter and are still there with me. Rona, if you're watching in Scotland, hello. But it was a great time of my life. And actually, as I was reflecting on QVC this morning, thinking about the interview today, in a way, Twitter kind of has replaced for me that connection to my customers that I had when I was on QVC, because even though I couldn't see them, they were there, and it was even before social media. So we wrote letters, we did emails, and I have to say my last show was in 2012. So I think I really missed that connection. Yes, I was selling a product, but I missed the connection with meeting people. And so Twitter has kind of filled that void. I really thought about that this morning.
That's awesome. Everybody has some sort of QVC story that's been on QVC.
Yes.
So tell me your best QVC story.
Oh my gosh, there's obviously a lot of them. All the hosts on QVC, the job they do is just fantastic, and how sometimes, we have to deal with an interesting call or an interesting question, or a wardrobe malfunction, I would say, or selling a product and when you're showing it up close, it's broken. Things like that were always, I laugh now, of course, panicked at the time, but everything about QVC is just amazing. And the people that work there behind the scenes are fabulous, and definitely a lot of funny stories. But I have to give hats off to all the people that work behind the scenes and the hosts, because there were a lot of great funny moments.
All right. Well, speaking of hats off, why are you not wearing a hat?
Okay, well, Adam, I had to challenge you. I was going to tweet you this morning and said, "Are you ready for the hat off?"
Okay,
hat. I did. This is my latest hat that I like. So I was going to bring it so I could wear it, because I didn't want you to feel like you were alone today.
I like it. No, that works.
It works.
I like it.
We need to see comments from people for this hat off about who is wearing the hat better. And I was told
that hat is awesome.
Yeah. We were asking for comments and questions ahead of our chat today. And one of the questions that I think it was Momo San Diego or Green Lake Girl said to ask
it was when,
yes. How many hats do you bring with you when you travel?
That, and I would love advice for anyone else that travels with hats, because it is the biggest pain, especially in the summer. You can't squish a hat like this in your suitcase. So I always in the summer probably travel with two hats, something that goes with black, and then something a little bit lighter color. And I generally carry a bigger tote on the plane, so I will stuff them in there to carry them, but it's always a pain. Or my husband, if he's watching, he'll laugh. I make him carry them because, of course, I don't want them smashed. But it's a travel tip for me, because when you're busy, and especially if you're jet lagged and whatever, you don't want to do your hair, you wear a hat and you're good to go. So I have to say, if you see me in a hat, 99% of the time, it's because I did not want to do my hair that day.
Same.
Adam, is that the same for you?
Same, totally. But here's a tip. Now this just goes because you will definitely run into if you're trying to travel, going on a plane, you're going on a trip, and you if you're taking a hat like this one, you really have two choices. You either have to wear it, and even if you wear it, with the seat and everything, so it's not great. I mean,
no.
So but travel tip.
Okay.
They make cases, right? Travel cases for these hats. And what I have done in the past is I'll put this in the travel case, which is like a hard shell, so it protects it.
Right.
And then you can put it in a suitcase or put it wherever, but it's in there, and you don't have to worry about it. But it's a hard shell case to protect the hat, and that is spoken by someone who wants to take the hat, but sometimes just the flight part is the part that's just because you put this up in the bin, it's going to get crushed, it's going to get all
I've left a hat in the bin as well. Some favorite hats are somewhere around the world in an airplane bin. So I appreciate that. I'm going to go online and check that out now that you've given me that little tip. Yes,
that's definitely a tip there. And so Tom says, I always want to buy a hat when I head west, but only when I go west. Okay. That's because there's something. Out west. There's something magical about it. That's what it is.
Yeah, but you're on the East Coast. You're in Atlanta.
Right, but I'm a trendsetter. I'm not copying anybody. Speaking of a trendsetter, someone has new earrings.
I do have new earrings.
I am
you now.
You always have the best
after hearing that you design your own jewelry, but these are my little cowboy boot earrings. Yes.
You always are perfectly accessorized, I must say.
You're so nice.
No, I have gotten lazy. Everyone always says, but you must have all this jewelry. And I do. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of jewelry from my QVC days. But I tend to be a hoops and one necklace girl. So I guess but when I see you all accessorized like that, it inspires me. So I think I'm going to have to go through my boxes today.
I have to ask, though, how many hats do you own? Because I own quite a few.
You look great.
Hats, but I keep buying them. But I want to know, how many hats do you own? And typically, you said you bring two when you travel.
Mm-hmm.
Two favorites that you have, or do you tend to rotate through them all?
I would say I'm not very good at rotating. So I probably bring my favorites, and I probably own about more hats like this. I probably own about maybe 20 or 25. And then you've, of course, got the beanies and the baseball hats for ponytail days, and other scrunchy hats. Like in the winter, it is easier to travel because I tend to bring more hats that you can squish in your suitcase. But I probably have 20, but I wear maybe 5 of those pretty regularly.
Oh, thank you, Tony. Adam, how many hats do you own?
I would agree.
Yeah. Is this the hat, your signature, the hat?
Right. Yeah. I've gone through 2 or 3, but I tend to kind of have a signature hat. But there's a couple of things that for me, I don't think I would ever have too many of. It's just a matter of, finding the one that's right. But a pair of boots, right, which is one reason your earrings are awesome. They're boots. Mm-hmm. But a good pair of boots and a nice hat, right? That's
all you need.
Those are hard to beat, and also hard to not buy. And whether you're out west or not. And then here in the Atlanta area, there's Western themed stores. Not enough, I might say, but there's a few. And it's kind of always I got to make sure I stay within my budget when I go into those places. So, but yes, Tony is checking in, and
hi, Tony.
Tony's great to hear from you. She's a good friend. Checking in from Nicaragua, actually, in Central America. So we've got our audience is done gone global with this thing.
See, silver lining to COVID is people are getting to meet people from everywhere now. Thanks to Zoom and so many other great platforms, and like a show like yours. So that's fantastic.
Zan, did we have any other questions that came into you prior that you want to try to get to?
Well, I have a question for Suzi. This is like a little game that I want to play with you based on some of the people that you've had meetups with.
Okay.
So I want you to pick the first 3 words that come to your mind.
Okay.
And we're going to start with some of the guests that we've had here
Oh,
on
good.
Wonder to the Edge as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with Pam from Always 5 Star. Top 3 words that come to mind.
Kind, fun, beautiful. Inside and out. I have to add that. Sorry.
Yeah. And then how about her daughter, Brittany? And you
I
can't
haven't
use
met
the
Brittany.
same words. You can't use the same words.
I haven't met Brittany.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
Okay.
I have not met Brittany, but I have no doubt that she is just like her mom.
Yeah. She was great to have on the show.
Beautiful person.
Yeah. How about who our guest was last week, Nicolette or Lamont?
Oh, Nicolette. I was blessed to meet her and Lynn in New York City. And Cindy, if you happen to be watching, gosh, it's a year ago, just a little over a year ago. She's awesome. I obviously, these young people, as I say, are so, I guess what I would say about Nicolette, again, kind. I love her sense of adventure. And oh gosh. And I love like how I don't know how I would describe just how she has come up with the ideas for her game that she has. That's
Travel
amazing. Yeah. So innovative, just I find all the travel people are just giving, kind humans. And so she ticks all those boxes.
And then the last one, Amber Burke from Wine Travel.
Oh, Amber. Completely giving, funny, and a great wine drinker. I mean, we can't ignore that.
Yeah.
No, she and her hubs are great people too.
I saw that you threw a caption up from my bestie, JD, the other half of Where Gals Wander, and cowboy hats, the only hat I can wear. She can rock a cowboy hat, by the way. And Julie wants to know when you're going to go to Arizona, Adam.
Definitely need to make that happen. I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I think I would enjoy that a lot. I hear it's nice and cool out there right now.
If you want snow, think Arizona, right, Suzi?
Yeah. Well, in the winter, I actually love Arizona in the winter. It's because it gets really cold at night. So I do love it. I was there a month ago and it was 110. So you will find me in the shade with a huge glass of ice water or some other beverage. I'm not a fan of heat. 75 degrees is about like perfect for me. And then it's too hot. So Arizona in the summer, I try to avoid it. But it is an absolutely beautiful place. We've got great travel tribe people there too.
We do. We do. I wonder, I don't know if any of them are watching right now, but there's quite a few people, I think, in California and Arizona and such. So if you're watching, say hi. And also opening up any questions that you guys have for Adam and his hats and for Suzi, please feel free.
Well, I have a question for you guys. Am I allowed to ask you?
Of course.
This is kind of a no-brainer, but I would love to know, and it is always hard when people ask this question, I know, but what is your absolute favorite place that you have traveled to, and why?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go first.
Your answer is going to be much more interesting.
No, I I hate these questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate them because I feel like if I choose and, I say, "Well, I like this place more than this other place," then I feel like I'm slighting the other place somehow, right? And every place has something unique and memorable, and there's something about every trip that, you hope to get to do again.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't, you certainly take that with you for the rest of your life, and there's different aspects of it. There's different aspects of it. When I think about um, just when I think about the most relaxing time and place I've ever been, I
Mm-hmm.
think about a somewhat undiscovered little city or town in Costa Rica on the Pacific side and the peninsula. All right, so it's not even where most people go. A lot of people go there, but it's on the peninsula there in Costa Rica, and just the way that that trip lined up and the place we stayed and being able to watch the sun go down over the Pacific every night. I mean that, oh, and in the jungle and to hear the howler monkeys in the morning or at night as well. But you hear all of that. That to me was just a moment in time I can't forget.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other aspects of other trips, and one that I've spoken about before, not on this show, but on other opportunities spoken about when I was in Egypt and was staying with not in a hotel. I was not staying like the 4 or 5 star experience. I was staying with a family there, and I really got to live like the people live, and that was an amazing experience. And when you find yourself kind of on a your host is pulling over on the side of this uh, not dirt road, but kind of a small little 2-lane highway, pulling over and sitting down with 4 or 5 other Muslim men, Egyptian men, all under this little, tent, roadside tent, and sitting there drinking Egyptian green tea and talking. Of course, I don't speak Arabic, so everything was having to be translated. But that, that was a completely different moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think, I mean, I'm here and I'm getting to share in this moment. And I may never get to have a moment like this again, right? Or not many people do. So the long answer, but that I don't like those questions because then it makes me think. I mean, it's hard to. There's
Pick
something
a
about every location that hopefully you leave a little piece of your heart behind.
Mm. Great answer, though.
So for me, I started this adventure series called Wander to the Edge. Oh no, wait. The Edge of Adventure, that was it. And in this series that I starred in, I went to Nicaragua and I took boats across the river in storms to these small villages to help people. And this docu-series is actually online now on YouTube and on Facebook as The Edge of Adventure. It's won awards, actually. So that was, oh wait. That was Adam too. I get confused sometimes.
Thank you, Zan. Thank you for that. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
would love for anybody to check out that series. Of course, I'm very proud of it and put a lot of myself into that. And I am still working behind the scenes on what's next for The Edge of Adventure. But yeah, check it out at theedgeofadventure.com. And for starters, you can watch the web series, 7-part series, and hope you enjoy it. Love to hear.
I watched some of it. It was fantastic. So
Thank you.
truly,
And thank you, Zan. But now you got to give your answer, though. Now, that was very kind of you.
you have a lot to choose from too.
I do. I haven't really been overseas. I've been to Mexico and Jamaica.
Mhm.
Jamaica was the first trip that I ever made on an airplane for my honeymoon. So I hadn't traveled before then. Um, then I had a job where I would make about 60 round trip flights a year. So I got to go to all sorts of different places, but it was for work. It's a little bit different.
Mhm.
Um, the trips that come to mind is the first time that we ever went to Arizona as a family
Mhm.
um, in the summer to go hiking for the very first time. Probably not the best combination, uh, but it was not something Disney related. It
Mhm.
was an adventure vacation with off roading and hiking, things that totally took us all out of our comfort zone. And I
Mhm.
think that's what really sparked the passion for my family to explore
Mhm.
and to try something new. We just got back from that amazing road trip through Utah and Nevada and Arizona. And again, a lot of off roading, a lot of things that off the beaten path
Mm-hmm.
that we got to experience together. And when we got back, my daughter Anya is turning 17 next month, and she asked for her birthday to go to another national park. So
That's
we're
right.
going to go to Yosemite, and I did pronounce that correctly. Yes, Yosemite. And we're also going to go to Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park because that's what she wants to do for her birthday now. I mean, just the fact that I've sparked
Awesome.
that in my kids, just like you have, Susie, you know, to get this level of travel and exploration and adventure, that is
Mhm.
what is meaningful for me.
Oh, fantastic. What I love is, and I guess we haven't taken as much time to see the amazing, incredible places we have here in the United States. So we've definitely done more of that in the last few years. But some of those trips you've taken are just fantastic. So I love following along all that you're doing with your family too, Zan. It's great.
Thanks.
Sure-footed Dana sends a comment back. I like this one in particular because it's from Twitter. This is from Twitter. So we're getting comments from Facebook, but this one is from our Twitter feed right now. Agreed. Travel and nature creates great memories. Yes, indeed. So thank you all for your comments and questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Okay, Susie. Um, there's another side of you that I want to talk about. There's this uh, big heart of yours and this heart of service that you have for people who are vulnerable and who are taken advantage of and abused.
Mm-hmm.
You have for years been involved with an organization that works to stop and end and raise awareness of human trafficking. Tell us about that and about your heart for that and what drives you to be involved and to help them with their mission.
Oh, I appreciate you bringing that up, Adam. My day job, I work for an incredible nonprofit in the anti-trafficking space called Free to Thrive, and I've actually been in the anti-trafficking space for about 4.5 years now. But with this organization just this year, and we provide free legal services and other supportive services for victims, mainly of sex trafficking here in San Diego. But my heart, I think, not afraid to say I'm 55 years old, and I definitely took a major career change in my late 40s. So want to tell anybody out there that's wondering what to do, or if you're feeling like you need to I know you did the same thing with your travels, Anne, as well. But once I got involved in this space, these incredible survivors are why I wake up every morning. They're just the most resilient, inspiring people I've ever met. And it's happening in all of our neighborhoods, all of our cities. It's a horrible thing. And I've been just honored to be a part of the movement of raising awareness and supporting these incredible people who have been through so much. So I'm blessed to love what I do. I'm blessed through COVID to be still working and providing support for our clients who, as you mentioned, Adam, are some of the most vulnerable, especially during this time. A lot of them homeless, a lot of them experiencing domestic violence. So we're just very grateful to be able to continue our work at this time to support them and their families. Most of our clients have children, so that tugs at my heart also. And like I said, they're some of the most amazing people I've ever met. So I don't talk a lot about my work on Twitter. Here and there I do, but because I think it is an important issue that everyone should become familiar with.
Susie, that type of work is just so impactful and meaningful. When you talk about the awareness and you talk about wanting to make a difference, kind of
Mhm.
share with us how can we help support that? How can we help be aware? What can we do?
I always, a lot of people ask that question. And what I always like to say is just become aware of your own community, especially get involved with any organizations within your own community that support anti-trafficking efforts. If you have children, it is definitely an issue that you should become very familiar with and learn about, because all of our children from every race, every socioeconomic group, every part of town can be vulnerable to this situation. So as a parent, I always encourage people to become educated about the dangers of social media and how a lot of sadly young people are recruited through social media. So I think if you volunteer your time, obviously donate to organizations that are doing legitimate great work and providing results, I think that's a good place to start. And bigger cities obviously have a lot more organizations that are involved in this space, but even in smaller towns, this is a huge issue. So I would just encourage you to go online and look for a group to maybe become a part of or volunteer your time in some way.
Our guest today, Suzi Day, and it is really great to get to know her. As you guys have, if you didn't know already, she's a very special person with a big heart, and she's such a great friend to have on social media. And as you're just seeing just a little bit of the rest of her life and the way that she is giving of herself to help others and to serve in a very powerful way. And let's get some information here. If you haven't already, you need to follow her on Twitter at Suzi Day 123, Suzi Day 123, and the Instagram handle, because she's also over there with a fantastic account on Instagram, Suzi Day 1015, Suzi Day 1015. And Suzi, it's been a great conversation. So great to get to know you. You're such a bubbly personality. Again, I just think about what a wonderful person you are. And then to just touch on this other side of you and what you do with your days, such an important thing. I think it's a problem, the human trafficking. It's a problem that many people haven't known about.
Mm-hmm.
And then some, when they find out about it, the temptation is to just turn away and to just look away. I'm just very thankful for you and the work that you do and the organization you work with. Before we wrap up, we're just about to the end of our time today. Zan, what do we have? Any final questions for this wonderful person?
I am looking. One final question that I did get for you based on your jewelry history is if you have any fashion advice, what would that be?
That is the question for you, for sure, Zan. I fashion advice in my older age, I have to say, I'm kind of with Adam in this thing. A great hat, a great pair of boots. I guess my fashion advice, I am not high maintenance. I prefer to find a fabulous dress at Target over a high-end department store. So I always find women that can say that they've got a dress at Target, maybe a pair of shoes from wherever, and put it all together really well. I always think that takes a lot more talent, but I think have great accessories. Going back to gorgeous Zan today, you can have an inexpensive outfit. I'm going back to my QVC selling days now.
Yeah, exactly.
You can have a very inexpensive outfit, and if you just have a fabulous necklace or pair of earrings, you can pull it all together and look like $1 million. How's that from my old sales pitch? Right?
I think that the person that asked that question was hoping that you would go into that pitch mode. But I will tell you this, Suzi, when this is all over, I'm coming down to San Diego and you and I are going shopping.
I would love that. Yeah. I would love that.
That would be so fun.
I'm inspired to go shopping again. I have gotten lazier in my older years here, but I do love a fabulous, inexpensive outfit with great jewelry. That's really satisfying. So I will hold you to it, my friend.
All right.
Well, thank you, Susie, for joining us today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. We will have this. We've, of course, been recorded. We're going to post it in just a few hours. It'll be posted on our Instagram page as well. Look for Wander to the Edge over there on Instagram. But it's an honor. It's a privilege to get to know so many great people, to have so many great friends. Susie, you're certainly one of those. And today's been a remarkable day to get to know you a little bit better and to hear about your heart.
Oh, thank you guys. Such an honor to meet both of you. And Adam, kudos to you too for the work that you do. I love that you are all about having a purpose in your travels. And what is your line about the status quo? I thought that was fantastic. I just
Beyond the status quo.
Yes, thank you. Love it. But honored to meet you guys, and so many, what you're doing with this show is great to get to know so many of the people on social media that we love. And thank you so much. And thank you for all your kind words. And I'm so glad I got to see everybody today.
Same here.
Thank you so much. Zan, as always, great to spend this time with you. Susie, thanks for being our guest today. And everybody else, we will see you right here next week, next Saturday on Wander to the Edge.